I really attach my worth to my grades. I want to be a teacher. Hence why I'm always giving you guys advice about school. I was just burnt out. Like, it was crazy. A B- or a C+ is like a good mark in this class because I'm gonna mark you really hard. What? Welcome back, everybody. So today's video is going to be based on some questions I got in a Q&A, and I asked you guys to send me questions on my Instagram. So today I'm basically going to be telling you guys about how I got into university, how I picked my major, what I want to do in the future, my thoughts about online school, tips about dealing with professors and bad grades and motivation and assigning your worth to the marks that you get, all kinds of stuff. So thanks for coming to hang out. It might be a little bit of a long chat, but I hope you find it valuable. Definitely subscribe if you want to be friends, and if you would like to stick around, I would love that. Here's everything I have to say about university. First, I'll talk a little bit about the application process, and to be honest, this was really easy. I just had to meet the minimum requirements for whatever was required for the program I was applying to. And so I met those requirements and I ended up getting my acceptance to UofT. It's actually sitting on my desk. It comes in a very fancy envelope. It looks like a wedding invitation and it's amazing. I just want to say, for anyone who is waiting on an acceptance from UofT or is applying there or applying to any university or college or whatever it is, to any school, I just want to say that it doesn't matter when you apply or when you receive your application. I received my UofT application. I applied in maybe December, and applications usually start rolling out in like February, I want to say, and then between February and June you should receive your acceptances, from what I remember. I didn't receive my UofT acceptance until probably April, I want to say. A lot of my friends got accepted before me. A lot of people I know got accepted like really quickly, even if they were in the same program or a different program, and I just thought that my acceptance was never going to come. So honestly, when I got my acceptance, I cried. I think I have like a Snapchat of it, so I'll put a picture. I was really happy. Sometimes it just comes a little bit later or sooner than others. Don't be discouraged if your application comes, or like your acceptance comes in later than other people that you know. The next question that I want to answer is, how did you know that the English major was for you? I didn't. It was a very last minute decision, and I'm going to tell you why. So for my entire life, basically, I wanted to go into kinesiology. I wanted to go into sciences, and that's what I wanted to study, like specifically kinesiology or exercise science and anatomy, right? So I wanted to do that for a really large portion of my life, like since I was really young, and throughout all of high school for years, I wanted to do that. But then once grade 11 came around, I was not getting the best math grades, and to get into kinesiology programs, you needed math to get into those programs. And I guess back then I just wasn't willing to do the math because I wasn't doing well in it, and I wasn't meeting the averages that the university needed to be accepted to the kinesiology program. Basically, because I didn't want to do math, I didn't want to continue with it after grade 11, because where I live, it's an option to take math in grade 12. So I didn't want to take math in grade 12, and me not deciding to do math basically just ruled out kinesiology. Still a decision that I think about every single day. Like, what would my life be like if I was doing that? Would I be happier? Would I enjoy it more? I think about it all of the time, but that's a decision I made in grade 11, that I wanted to do something else because I couldn't do the math and I didn't have the grades for it. So in grade 12, basically, I did take biology, but I also took law and English and creative writing, and I was really good at English. I've always loved reading as well. I've always written stories. I had a fan fiction phase. I used to write fan fiction. We're not talking about it. But yeah, I've always been good at writing and reading, and well, good at reading. Like, I've always enjoyed it. So then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna apply for English and see what happens. I also want to write a book in the future, so hopefully this will help me do that as well. And sometimes I beat myself up for it, for changing last minute, but I do really like what I'm studying. I love my professors, and I think the English program at UofT is really, really good. It's more so like, oh, I'm strong in this subject, so maybe I should try studying this. And so in first year, I took some English classes, absolutely loved them. And so English is one of my majors. I hate my French major. And I really want to make it a minor and then do a minor in anthropology. So I would be doing a double minor. My leg is asleep and it tickles. Oh my God. No, I hate it. My French major and the tickling. So the next question I'm going to answer is uni major and dream career, both with question marks beside them. So my uni majors right now are French and English, like French language, and then English literature. Here's the problem with that. So I guess I'll start off by saying my dream career is to be a teacher. Being a teacher is something I knew I always wanted to do. I've always wanted to be a teacher. And so, like I said, kinesiology was ruled out for me. I did English and French. And so taking the French in Canada, per se, will help me get a teaching job much quicker. Because apparently having French is great and they always need French teachers and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I'm taking the French major. I want to teach high school, and so the way that works is I need 2 subjects, so 2 teachables. And French is one of those subjects alongside chemistry, biology, and physics where you need a major in those subjects. And on top of that, French, before I go to teachers college to do my master's of teaching, I need to take a French proficiency test, which is approximately 5 hours long or something. And I don't want to do that. I learned about that like a week ago, I think, and I am just, you know, it's fun. So French is one of those subjects, and I'm not giving up my English major. I love my English major too much to give it up for my French major and then minor in something else. So I really want to make my French major a minor and then do a minor in anthropology or something, because I'm taking anthropology right now and I'm really enjoying it. And anthropology classifies, like they take social sciences. When you apply to teachers college, it can just be a subject that I have a minor in, which is okay. I need at least 3 credits in that subject. And then with anthropology, I would basically be able to teach science general. So yeah, I really want to do a major switch because I'm not a fan of my French major. I'm really not enjoying it, and I want to make it a minor so bad. It won't ruin my chances of getting into teachers college or teaching high school. Worst case, I can always teach younger grades, which is something I am considering. I just have to do more volunteering once COVID is over in schools and see which one I prefer, so that future me can gauge which one. I will apply to both programs though, the like kindergarten to grade 6 program and the like intermediate teaching, which is like high school, because you can apply for up to 3 programs. So I will apply for both and see how it goes. But that's my big long uni major and dream career story. I want to be a teacher, hence why I'm always giving you guys advice about school. The last question I want to answer is uni, so university, harder than you anticipated? And honestly, sometimes it really is. My first year, I did pretty well. I will have to say that. Because I kind of knew. I just went into university thinking that it was going to be the hardest thing I was ever going to do, and that professors were going to be so strict and all that kind of stuff. But when I got to university, I was like, okay, professors are like pretty cool. Some of them can be super strict, but usually professors, the ones that I've had, are really good at teaching the material, obviously because they're like professionals in that subject area. Most professors are really open to like giving out extensions. If you send out an email, if you need an extension on your paper, just email your professor or your TA. And most of the time, they're willing to work something out for you, even if it's an extra day, an extra couple of days, or a week. Profs are actually more understanding than you think. But in terms of, is university harder than I anticipated, it was really hard to balance everything in my first year. I took 5 classes in the first term and in the second term, and I had no days off in my first year. So it was a lot in the beginning to balance 5 different classes, readings every single week. Some of my classes had weekly essays, and it was just a lot. I burnt out in university, like within the first month or two, I burnt out for sure. Even within like the first couple of weeks, I was just burnt out. Like, it was crazy. But once I got into the swing of things, I would say the second semester was a lot better for me because I knew what I was getting into. But yeah, I wouldn't say that it's harder. It's just a pretty big adjustment because you have so many readings for different classes that you have to finish and get ahead on. And there's assignments and there's all these things that when you're in first year, you're like, what do I do? You know? And I think also because I treated university like something that was going to be super, super hard when I went into it, it wasn't too bad. I will say though, that having some professors this term, sometimes they mark really hard. Like they'll tell you, oh yeah, a B- or a C+ is like a good mark in this class because I'm going to mark you really hard. What? No way. I'm gonna come right out and say it. I let my grades define me. Sometimes I really attach my worth to my grades and how hard I work on something, and then the grade that I receive back. I'm good about taking feedback and being able to improve on future assignments. But if I work really hard on something and I get back a bad grade, that just like sits with me. Like that happened to me last term. I got a grade that I didn't really expect to get on an essay that I worked so hard on, and I emailed the professor about it and I said, hey, can you remark my essay? She told me to get my TA to remark my essay and send my TA an email. I sent my TA an email. My TA did not remark the essay. I was like, oh my gosh. So I just took the bad mark and I took it, and I still think about it sometimes, and I'm just like, you know what? Kind of annoys me still, but it's over. There's nothing I can do about it. I tried asking for a regrade and it didn't happen. And that's another thing too. If you genuinely feel like you deserve a regrade on a paper, then ask for it and just see what happens, because what's the worst that's gonna happen? I definitely do put a lot of pressure on myself to do well. Like, I am always like, I have to do well on this. If I don't get this kind of a grade, then I'm gonna be really upset. And then just when I see the grades, like usually I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll take it, and then next time I'll do better. So it's always like me one-upping myself, and like I stress myself out because I want to make things perfect all the time, even though I can't. And I want to get really good grades, and I work hard for my grades, but it's just like I can't expect 100% all the time, and I need to tell myself that. So from me being a perfectionist and being hard on myself, just know that sometimes university is gonna be hard. And sometimes you just gotta, like, especially the grading scale, just know that in your first year, if you're getting like C's or B's, like 60s and 70s, that's good for your first year of university. Like a lot of people just like go in and fail. So don't beat yourself up if you get like lower grades than you're used to in university. I talk about this in one of my other videos, which I will link over here, but So that's basically it for my current thoughts on university, how I got in, how I chose my major, what I'm studying, what I want to do in the future, and just like some other thoughts about grades and professors and all of that kind of stuff. I really hope you guys enjoyed this and that you learned something from it. Good luck to anybody that's applying to universities. I hope that you get into the school that you want. If you are doing online school this year of any kind, high school, elementary, university, college, whatever it is, good luck. You're doing the best that you can. You're doing amazing. It's freaking difficult. Like, it's hard to stay motivated, but you're doing amazing. So, with that being said, thanks for hanging out with me. Subscribe if you want to be friends, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.